Hello, this is Ad. In today's video, I'm gonna talk to you about why you should automate your contract creation process. Some insights and some ideas that I have here, and of course, with some other automations and processes that I've built for my past clients, right? For accounting firms, for CPAs, for law firms as well, right? And again, these are just some thoughts and insights that you should consider if you are thinking about automating your contract creation process, right? And I really like this kind of mind map structure because it can kind of really show you on like different kind of insights and thoughts that you should start considering when thinking about automating the contract creation process, right? So let's start on like why, especially like why you should you should automate the process of putting together contracts, sending contracts to your clients, and like specifically comparing how it is being done today if you do that manually, and how, of course, you like the benefits of automating that process, right? So I would say like if you do all of that manually, with a lot of back and forth with your clients. Manually putting together those contracts, especially if you use like Google Docs or Microsoft Word or even like a PDF. Like first of all, of course, there are a lot of room for manual errors there. If you have to type all the information there, if you have to copy and paste data from a different source, then there's always going to be room for manual error, right? And that's common, right? So that would be like the first one. The second one would be lack of visibility in tracking. So if you send a contract to a client, you don't know if that contract has been signed. You need to manually follow up with that client, and if especially if you do a lot of contracts with a huge volume of contracts and documents, it's very hard to track everything, right? And because of that, it can take a lot of time for the contract to be signed and approved, right? And that depending on the process that you have there, if it's a client onboarding, if it's another type of contract and document, it can cause like delays in other processes as well, right? um, of course, once you start shifting to like a more automated way of doing that, not only of course you can definitely increase speed in accuracy, because like you can put together the contract, you can add all the information that you need and send to your client, all of being done automatically. So of course, you are starting automatically saving a lot of time because of that. And then you can start enhancing like visibility and auditing, because especially if you are using like a contract platform like Panadoc, like DocuSign, you can know everything that's happening there, all the status of each contract, if your client had kind of viewed the contract, had signed the contract. So you have all the data and all the activity log for each document, and that's really really helpful, right? And of course, I would say that one of the top benefits of automating that process, first of all, like you're going to definitely reduce a lot of the manual errors input there, because you're adding the data automatically for a different source, for example. So you're going to reduce the errors, you're going to speed the contract cycle. So again, with automatic follow-ups, with automatic sending the contract, all happening right away. So you don't have to keep reminding to follow up with the client. You don't have to do all that manually. So you definitely reduce um, this cycle there, and that will also help you speed up the following processes after that as well, right? And again, you're going to increase transparency because you know everything that's being done and the status of each document, right? Um, so in terms of contract software options, my go-to platform is definitely Panadoc because Panadoc is very flexible when it comes to automation. Their API works great, and it's very easy to integrate with other platforms, other software, other like payment process. Like if you use Stripe, if you use QuickBooks, for example, you can definitely integrate with that. And also in using like automation platforms like Zapier, Make, and some other ones. So yeah, it's definitely my go-to platform. But DocuSign also works great. I've worked with DocuSign before, like Dropbox Sign also works great. Hello Sign. So yeah, so you definitely need to like so once you decide to move your manual contract process into a more automated workflow, then you should definitely start by selecting the right software for you for your operations, right? And then once you do that, you can start creating the templates because then you're gonna just add the data into the same template so then you can send a contract, right? So the templates, they are really, really important for that entire process. And then also like not only the templates, but the templates and then the workflows, right? Defining depending on the template, you have a very specific workflow. If the workflow requires like an approval in the middle of the process, who is signing first. So the signing order is really important. So you can customize that to each template, to each workflow. So having the templates and workflows in place really, really gonna help you when you go to start automating that process, right? And then once you select the contract software, then gonna start integrating with your other tech stack. So let's say that you have a CRM, then you can integrate the CRM with your contract software. So you can, for example, get the data from the CRM and add that data to the contract, to the document. Or add, for example, add your client data to the contract. So that's really, really helpful. You can natively integrate, for example, Panadoc with HubSpot or with Pipedrive, right? Or even with Monday CRM. But if needed, again, as I mentioned, you can use some automation tools to do that. So you can get data from like client data. You can get data related to pricing, quotes, etc. Um, um, and also, like when I mentioned about the workflows, you can also like customize the clauses, the sections of the document, the sections of the template, according to certain rules that you can create. So that's why it is really important to use a contract software. And of course, once you integrate with your tech stack, you ensure that you have data accuracy because you're getting the data that you have there on the CRM, right? So you're not manually inputting the data. You are just syncing the data, and that definitely improves the accuracy of your document. So another benefit of using a contract software like again Panadoc, DocuSign, and those other ones is that you can track everything that's being done for each document. So you can track um, all the edits that have been done, all the changes, all the signatures, all the data that has been inputted there. So you can track everything, every edit. You can have different versions of that document, different versions of that template if you're using the templates. So it's really helpful because you can know everything that's happening there, everything that's been done for each document for each client. So if you need to check on something, you can just go there on your contract software, excuse me, and you can check everything, all the activity log for that document. So in terms of tracking, that's definitely helpful because if you're just sending out the contract on a PDF, for example, you don't have that, right? So it's very hard to track all the different edits that have been done there. Um, And also, like on the contract software, this is also an important part because you can edit the permissions. So depending on the user type, you can edit the permission to only allow certain users to edit templates, for example, or to edit the documents that you are creating, right? And also, like when you create a template, when you create the workflow, you can customize the way that you want, the way that it is better for your business, for your operations, right? Because you can route the contract to different stakeholders, to get different approvals. You can customize reminders, not only for approvals but also for signatures. So you can customize how many reminders are you sending, when are you sending those reminders. So again, all being done automatically, so you don't have to keep sending those follow-ups manually anymore. Um, you can also like of course all those contract software, they have the e-signature feature, and also you can add additional requirements for signature. You can add ID check. You can add other let's say more secure ways for to make sure that you know who is signing that document, right? um, and of course you can allow for multi-party signatures, and again, as I mentioned earlier, you can customize the signing order for that, right? And then once you have everything in place, you can start analyzing and tracking your contract like life cycle. You can analyze and track all the workflows. You can monitor everything that's been done, because once you have those like templates, workflows, integrations, all that in place, then I would say the next step is analyzing everything to know where you should optimize, right? Where is the bottleneck? Where you should change maybe the workflow, where you should adapt something to improve that workflow, right? So that's one of the benefits also to automate any process using tools, using tech stack, because then you have the data that you can analyze. Because if you're doing everything manually, it's very, very hard to analyze and track what's been done to so you can improve it, right? It's hard to improve something that you don't track. So that's why tracking, I would say it's the last step, but you have to make sure you have everything else in place in order to be able to track and analyze everything, right? So yeah, so that's pretty much it that I want to kind of cover today in this video. Hope this helps. Hope that now you are able to understand why it's really, really important for your firm to start automating the contract creation process, right? If you have any questions, just let me know. Happy to chat. Thank you.